Everybody get up, no need to cram now. We got a real jam going down, going down, going down, going down, going down, going down. Welcome to the IntelliJAMS.
Alex, what's going on, dude?
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I had someone tell me this week they've memorized the rap intro, and I knew that we finally had someone who listened to this.
I was talking to someone who's going to be a guest on this podcast in a few weeks, and they were also pumping the intro music as something they're jamming to. So we love to hear it.
I love it. Fantastic. Fantastic. So Alex, what do you want to jam on today?
Okay. I don't know how to necessarily bring this jam topic up succinctly. So I'm just going to say something, let you react to it, and then we can go from there. I have been seeing a lot, we have been talking a lot internally about this idea of matching experiences on the site to different entry points. So I have heard this come up in the terms of like a specific email. I have heard this come up in terms of like a specific ad campaign, a specific ad creative. But the concept of matching what I see at the entry point to what I see when I have the landed experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
I want to know your thoughts on that.
Like content, matching or congruency.
Congruency, content matching. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, this is your jam. What? So you just want to know my thoughts on this, or do you have thoughts on this? Let's start with your perspective.
Okay, my perspective on this is I think I've been having multiple conversations lately where there's this idea of building a personalized experience for every person. So like when you talk to people in D2C, there's this like dream that we're marching towards. I know the X, Y, and Z about Adam, and because I know X, Y, and Z about Adam, I'm going to present this experience to him. And a lot of what I'm hearing is people are excited about that, but people are also very skeptical. Like a previous guest was like, I actually think this is garbage. Like doing one-to-one personalizations, even in an AI automated way, is like a lot of work to manage and understand. So this concept of like matching ads and emails is, I don't even know if I believe in doing that on like a per email or a per ad basis, but I think there's some interesting things in here where you could build the entry point and the landing experience to match up in like specific enough groups that have kind of like matching intents or matching reasons to be here, and build experiences up in that way. So as an example, I might have like 4 different buyer personas for my product. Say I sell vitamins, and like they're great as like prenatal, they're great as a sleep aid. Okay, when that creative is in market and they come to the site, like build everything up for that person that has a sleep problem. I see that as like a very interesting use case for this, but I'm not sold on every ad, every email, an experience for every person.
Okay, so I think I have a similar take actually. My take is that I've heard this narrative from many other companies in market is that you should build a landing page basically for every ad. It's like I have creative A should go to landing page A, creative B goes to landing page B. And it's like, if I see a basketball player taking this vitamin, I want to see a basketball player taking this vitamin when I get to the site. And like, it'd be very confusing if it was like, this is for athletic performance. And it's like, I don't know. So I am skeptical that every ad needs to match one-to-one with a lander. I love this concept that messaging matters. Like, whether it's vitamins for maternity versus sleep, whether it's like I'm going after like a knife brand. I was talking to someone who has a knife brand. It's like you have the people who like want tactical knives, and other people who are like hunters, and then other people who it's like safety, and it's like those are all very different perspectives. I was talking to someone who sells like cookware. It's like I want to like the best creative is like a sizzling steak, but if I know you're a vegan, I'd rather not show that to you. And so,
Love the extreme example there.
I mean, that's not that extreme. And that all makes sense to me. And yeah, I mean, I think that like the other thing that I'm skeptical about is I don't know what the like how important this is. I don't know how important this is, period. In other words, if I'm a vegan seeing a sizzling steak, does that make me not want these pots and pans? And to what degree is that the case? And so that's where it's like, I'm sure I can mine some data, and like a lot of people have run A/B tests on this with IntelliJAMS, and I don't know the data. And to anyone listening who has run these kinds of tests or real data to show definitively, or at least in an example where it worked well or didn't work well, I'd love to have some. Like, I think we could go do a report on where this works. I know that this is a lot of work, and people are like,
Yes.
okay, like to go do this, even with an AI agent, is a lot of work. Is that juice worth the squeeze? And I don't know. That being said, like, I think knowing your customers and knowing, and this is where running an A/B test, and we talked about this last time of like dipping your toe could be helpful. So it's like, let's try this on one ad. And then I think I literally talked about this. We talked about this in one of the last pods. Was like, if you run one ad and you tailor the lander for that, does that one perform better than the generic? And if so, then you might want to go to ads 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Anyway, so that's a bit of a ramble, but I am a bit skeptical of all the work involved. But I think that we could very easily go get some data on this.
Yeah, so I'm actually working with one of our customers to test into this specifically. So they have 4 buyer personas, communities that all use the product for a different reason. And what we're actually going to set up is for when creatives are targeting one of those, we will actually split at like that specific UTM coming from that ad to show the generic versus the tailored to that specific, and see what the difference is in performance when I come on to like what would have been for everyone versus what is specific to this person, and actually have this going for all of the different angles. So we'll be able to see how does this perform versus kind of like the standard experience versus the tailored, or like when you said messaging matters, but also be able to just look at the performance of like those 4 different landing pages for those 4 different creatives. Because like one thing that I always come up against is like, oh, I put creative to Meta and Meta figures out how to deliver that to the right audience. But like Meta figures out how to deliver that to the right audience based on a lot of signals, the clicks, the conversions. And like if it's a certain segment is converting, Meta's going to favor sending into that audience. What if you exhaust that entire audience and it's like, I'm trying to like go break into new categories. I'm trying to actually get true incrementality, not just like get those people buying more, or I'm retargeting into this group. It's like, I feel like I need to actually go get something new. And I think that's where this gets really interesting is like, are you finding your best customers, or are you using the best angles? Or is Meta just finding the right customers for the current construction of the experience?
Interesting. That's a really good question. And that's a chicken and egg question, so it's hard to answer, right?
I
don't know how
know.
you
So
might
we're gonna
that.
try to figure this out. Like, I don't know if we have the best way to test into this, but like to go back to our last episode, myself and this brand, we're gonna try to nibble at a few things here, see what we can potentially find, and like branch out into different areas to like figure this out.
And by the way, like I'm very much in support of creating experiences that are targeted, right? So like, for example, one of the areas, maybe one of my hangups too, and my skepticism here is on like the content. It's like, is the vegan seeing a sizzling piece of meat really not going to buy? Lovers that I know drive conversions and drive profit and like total economics of your business are dollars and cents. It's like offers, discounts, promotions. Like you already are somewhat doing this where it's like you have a welcome email capture that people get a discount if they put that in. Can you make it so that way there's maybe like that experience is even better where it's like you click through the welcome email and that discount is automatically applied based on the Klaviyo segment that you're in or that you clicked on an email, right? And those are both doable. It's like, to me, that is a much bigger lever. And like, it's obvious. Like, I mean, we could definitely test that. But to me, that's a lot more obviously like going to drive a better customer experience of like, I click through an ad, the banner now says you're getting automatically this discount. The discount's automatically showing up when you add something to the cart. You're seeing all over the PDP and collection pages that your discount is going to be applied when you add something to the cart. And so like that to me is a much more profit driving personalization than the like vegetables as opposed to the meat.
So you said it's an obvious one. I actually don't know if it's as obvious as
Maybe not.
you think it is. As like we here at IntelliJAMS, we live and breathe. We call that beyond the page, right? It's like these things that are going to exist beyond the specific experience I'm landing on. So like you and I think about these all the time. I don't know if that's actually something that all of our listeners, like people in D2C, are seeing as like, oh, the easiest, closest to the money personalization is the discount, the offer, the threshold that is presented to different groups of people. But like I started this conversation with like the content, but like I actually am not scoping it to the content. I'm saying keep things.
So you're not disagreeing that this is a slam dunk. No. You're just saying that it's maybe not, it's more obvious to me because I'm so close to the fact that merchandising a discount is also very important in addition to the discount itself and the way that gets applied.
Think about it this way. Like I click on an ad that is promising me a gift bundle if I make a purchase. Generally speaking, that ad is going to point to a landing page that is set up to facilitate that gift bundle. It might be like when you click buy, there is a pre-built product in Shopify that has all those things. So I have to convert inside of the landing page I just went to for the ad experience and the landing experience to have that congruency. But what if we set it up the way you were just talking about, where it's like, hey, it's done as this like off the page offer, discount, whatever. So like I leave that page and I start going exploring around. Like if I'm not a one product company, I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing for someone to go explore the rest of the catalog, but like they still came in wanting that specific thing. Make sure they get that through the whole thing. So like I am not disagreeing with you. I think it's a slam dunk. It's just we see it as easy to do because like this is what our company does. I don't know if everyone sees that as like, that's an easy way to create congruency between the click and the experience.
No, I mean, I can tell you, I was just talking with one of our product managers earlier that like a small fraction of people are actually doing that. And it's like the people who are seeing the matrix. And so I think that figuring out how to connect all the dots where people see the same experience. And if you promise them a free gift, if you promise them a discount, if you promise them free shipping, it would be very, very confusing if you said, you're going to get free shipping on your order. And then you get to the website and it's like free shipping on orders over $100. That would be a very confusing experience. And I could see that feeling like an empty promise or like you don't get all the way as opposed to adjusting the messaging on a per person basis because like, you know, that they're in this experience and going to get this discount.
Yeah. And like the last thing I'll say on the messaging. So I like this hypothetical you're putting out there of like the cookware with the vegan and like seeing the meat is like, would that matter? I think it depends. I think it matters if it was a passive versus like active entry point into the site. If it was an active, I want to buy cookware, I probably don't care if it's showing meat versus like vegetarian options because I'm like in the mood to buy cookware. Yeah. If I click in through more of like a passive channel on Instagram or Meta and it's more kind of this like lifestyle, like bringing me in, I might care about that a bit more. So I think like what I'm saying with this like congruency thing is like, I know you're skeptical coming in. I know a lot of the market wants to do this. I think like I disagree with the experience for every person. Even in an AI world, you were talking about building. My head goes to, from previous experiences, managing. Like building is one thing, managing and understanding and facilitating ongoing is a whole nother story. So I'm like, I'm bullish on matching, like having congruency between the ad or the email and the experience in two ways. Matching the messaging, like we were talking about at the beginning, but also messaging, like if you want to try and offer in an ad, like 30% off versus gift bundle versus this or that, if you don't have an easy way to match it up on the landing experience, you might conclude that that is a bad ad angle when it might not have been. It might have been a good angle that I just wasn't able to replicate the experience on land.
Yeah, that's a totally fair point. And I think it's important, and seeing the whole picture is really important, and making sure that your site matches your story is obviously a thing. So, yeah, I think maybe I'm less skeptical now.
Great. If I will report back on that experiment that I was talking about, and we can maybe talk about that on another jam. But yeah, if anyone has ideas on matching these up and you want to run them by someone, hit Adam or I up. We're happy to take a look at these and evaluate them for the congruency, the match, whatever we want to call it.